Leo, very warm welcome. My name's Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, welcome back. So, Leo, how are you? I hope you're all doing really well out there. Queen of Wands, Page of Pentacles here. Some of you might be looking quite confident within the social scene throughout the last 2 weeks of June. Some of you might be dealing with situations with age differences, just saying. So, Leo, itchy nose, are you coming into money? Let's have a look. Right. What's the center of this reading for you for the last 2 weeks of June, Leo? Okay, watch out. Not everything might go in your favor this last couple of weeks of June. What I mean by that, it's not negative. Things might not go the way you planned. Having said that, it's not negative, if that's making sense to you guys. All right, center of the reading, we've got the Six of Wands in reverse, Leo. This is a lack of celebration. This is a lack of victory in something. We don't know what this is just yet. Let's have a look. Okay, the challenge. Some kind of an ending. Okay, sign of Scorpio might be significant, Leo. Some kind of an ending. It's a challenge for something to transform, and it's a lack of celebration, a lack of being noticed, maybe. The reason why it's all happening, the Magician. Some of you might have manifested something, okay, and it's kind of like you might go on to manifest something throughout June. And you're thinking, is this what I truly want? Okay, so be careful what you're manifesting. I think manifestation might be quite key for you throughout this month. Recent past, okay, you avoided some kind of a tower moment. Towers come into our lives, at the most inopportune moment, but they're unavoidable. We can do our best to avoid them, but the shit will hit the fan eventually. We can try to do some damage control, but, recent past, you might have avoided a tower moment. It might be this Magician. Let's have a look. Your focus, King of Swords in reverse. Some of you are starting to see that someone might have been a little bit narcissistic, just saying, for a select few of you. Others of you, your focus is cutting out bullshit, okay? Anyone that is, not seeing your value, not seeing you for who you are, Leo, not celebrating you, as a person, or celebrating the connection with you. Yes, it's a challenge to end it, but it seems that you're quite resolute that you've no time for manipulation throughout the last couple of weeks. Okay, what you don't see coming towards you, umming and ahhing. Okay, this is holding two things together. It could be juggling. But what you don't see coming to, you are going to hold it all together. Okay, and you're going to be umming and ahhing a little bit throughout June, whatever this might be. We're going to have a look at this, right? Okay, your energetic field, justice in reverse. You might feel unfairly treated, Leo. Okay, just watch those thoughts and that energy that you're giving off, you might feel unfairly treated. You might be carrying around that energy within you. Outside influences, the Queen of Swords. So we've got the Queen of Swords now. So we've got the King of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Swords. So you might be getting on really clear and honest with yourself that I need to cut things out that don't make me feel celebrated, make me feel noticed. It's a challenge to end things. But you know what? I really want to manifest better things for myself. And I want to avoid tower moments in my life, Knight of Cups, you're fearing offering your love to someone, or you're fearing a love offer. Some of you are fearing romance, And the outcome is the King of Cups. We've got quite a few people in this reading, Leo. You might have a few suitors, I'm just saying, around you. You don't run away with your feelings, I think, throughout the month of June. Some of you might be wondering, okay, you might be a bit fearful of offering your love to someone, okay, because you fear that they might be a little bit narcissistic. I'm just saying, okay, and they might be juggling, or you have a suspicion that they're juggling. They might come across as the Magician. They can do anything, but hidden behind that, are they the King of Swords in reverse? highly narcissistic card in tarot for me. Um, but outside influences, we've got the Queen of Swords, and now this could be for some of you. This could be legal advice. Okay, some of you might be seeking legal advice. Things you weren't, things didn't go in your favor. Um, and you might be trying to manifest new legal counsel, or you might be trying to manifest better outcomes in a legal situation, just for some of you, right? It's not a personal reading, guys. Let's have a look. So, Leo, why is the Six of Wands in reverse as the center of your reading throughout the last 2 weeks of June? What's that all about? Let's have a look. Why is that here for Leo? Okay, we got the six. Yeah, you're not fighting for anything, Leo, throughout the last 2 weeks of June. You're not fighting for anything that you don't, that doesn't make you feel celebrated, joyous, if you like. You're not fighting. Yes, it's a challenge to end things. Yeah, it's a challenge to end something, all right, and become single, okay? And some of you, it might be a challenge to transform your independence for some reason. Okay? It's all happening because, look, guys, it's all happening because the Magician and the King of Swords in reverse come out twice. This is someone highly manipulative, okay? And for some of you, you might have spotted that and got very clear that I'm not feeling celebrated here. Where is my joie de vivre? Where's it gone? Recent past, yeah, you wanted to avoid a tower moment, okay? Due to you not trusting your intuition or using your intuition, Leo. Your focus is, yeah, you're cutting something out and getting over some kind of betrayal. Some of you might, just watch out, there might be someone here. Magician in the upright with the King of Swords in reverse. That's not nice, guys. Me as a tarot reader, that's pretty bad. What you don't see coming, you're going to free yourself from anyone that tries to juggle you, Leo. Okay? We've got Two of Pentacles, and then we've got the Two of Swords. So, if you think about 2 plus 2 in numerology is 4, which is all about stability. You are going to free yourself, unstick yourself from the instability of being breadcrumbed, juggled, manipulated, okay? Your energetic field, yeah, you feel a bit trapped, okay, and treated unfairly. Some of you don't want to get divorced, just for some of you. It's not a personal reading, remember, guys. Some of you feel trapped. You don't really want to get divorced. It's a struggle that something's ending due to someone being highly... This is mindfuckery, by the way. And it's a challenge for you to be single again and these kind of things. You feel trapped in a situation. It's like, damned if I do, damned if I don't, just for some of you. Outside influences, Queen of Swords, you are getting very clear about how some of you have been duped or manipulated or taken into confusion, like cognitive dissonance, just for some of you, Leos. So you're getting very clear about that, and you're getting clear about your options and choices now. Or some of you that might be going through some kind of legalities, you're really studying and based on fact only, no emotion, about your options and choices of how to get better outcomes throughout the last couple of weeks of June. Some of you, it's a fear of yours. Will I ever be successful in love? When's it coming my way? Okay, but the outcome looks good. The King of Cups. Look, some of you guys, okay, we have a King of Cups and a Lovers. The Lovers in the upright is a healthy choice in love. The outcome for you, Leo, throughout the last couple of weeks is you are going to be emotionally mature about your choices in love. For a select few of you, there might be a King of Cups coming your way, okay, and it might be some kind of like divine kind of connection here with the Lovers, okay? They're beautiful cards put together, the Lovers and the King of Cups. It's an emotional, there's not only emotional maturity, there's a depth to it, okay? It's an outcome. Now, For some of you guys, it might just be, you know what, it's a challenge to end things and become single. And then, cutting out any forms of betrayal, people that juggle you, keep you stuck, keep you in mind, messing with your mind. The outcome is I'm balancing my emotions. I'm making healthy choices in love now. Yeah. I'm choosing emotional well being. Okay. Um, but for some of you, you might have a choice in love to do with someone with heavy water in their chart. Okay. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. If it is about love, Leo, throughout the last couple of weeks, just based on this reading here, I want to look into the Magician and King of Swords in reverse. But as I say, guys, that's not nice. All right. When I see those in my personal readings, I'm like, how do I break this news? Attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Came out in reverse. So for a lot of you guys that have been dealing with anyone that's highly manipulative or narcissistic, you are not in the present moment. You are in confusion in your mind, which has been instilled upon you by this character. Just for some of you, okay? And so you're actually not in the present moment. You are locked in some kind of brain fog where you're trying to work out what is true here. I feel off balance, Yeah, you don't feel that it's safe for you to love this person, okay? And one more, passion, and it just takes away from your passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. You're not passionate about this. You feel a little bit trapped throughout the last couple of weeks of June. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the rainbow. There's a choice in love, an emotional choice. The lovers can be, it's linked to like the six of pentacles. It's reciprocal. Yeah, a lot of you're going to choose emotional stability, your emotional well-being. Okay, some of you actually might be seeking out, counselors, therapy, these kind of things to help you with some kind of confusion. And it might be narcissistic abuse just for some of you. All right. I don't like these topics on modern tarot, but it's life. All right. Um, let's have a look. What are you cutting out? You're cutting out, um, your focus is the King of Swords in reverse. It came out twice in this reading. But, if it's your energy, your focus, you're cutting out something and getting over the betrayal of it all. Because you realize this umming and ahhing, this cognitive dissonance is just keeping me stuck. I hurt you too much. You would never take me back. This is your focus. Somebody may have hurt you too much. You'd never take them back, And yet you might be stuck between a rock and a hard place. You don't want to be single. And you feel trapped in something. You came way closer than anybody else. It kind of scared me, to be honest. And when you look at this, the Magician and the King of Swords in reverse, don't be fooled by these characters. They know how to hit your weak spots, Leo. You think you're opening up to, a soulmate when really they're using it against you in predatory form to take advantage of you. Okay, we've got to see through that, see beyond the veil. Trust our intuition. When will I see you again by the 3 degrees might be a song. When will I see you again? There might be some, look, there might be somebody there, okay, which with heavy water in their chart, and they might be thinking, when will I see you again? They might have a lot of affection for you, and it might be a choice for you, or they might be choosing you. Just for some of you, select few. I want to look at this character here. Tell me more. This Magician and King of Swords in reverse. As I say, guys, not a nice combination. Why is this here? Magician. Okay, aloofness game. Okay, this is someone that might have been a bit aloof, hard to pin down. They were wearing a fake mask, guys, and completely love languages in reverse. And so, remember what I was saying to you, Leo? We think we're opening up to people, but really, they are not. They're gathering information into your weaknesses of how they can manipulate you. I just want you to be careful because, this aloofness, you might open up to people, Leo, give them so much information about yourself, and then when you come to think about it, you know very little about them. And whatever you've seen was a fake mask. So just be careful because that will keep you trapped in victimhood, almost like Stockholm syndrome, where, you lose the ability to think for yourself because there's been mindfuckery. Leo, just be careful, I want one more on top of that. All right, maybe not for everybody, all right? It's not a personal reading, guys, take what fits and leave the rest behind. It doesn't even have to be about love. This could be in work, where, you felt unfairly treated and duped, for some of you, it might be, a challenge to leave a company and, become self-employed, Let's have a look. I love the attention you give me. This person might be an attention seeker, okay? And it might have been always an unnecessary struggle. And you know what? This might be their way of thinking about you, Leo, when you start reacting to their poor behavior, you're taken out of your natural being and you might become angry and all these kind of things. It's your soul being angry at being manipulated. And then what happens is they make you out to be the crazy one, but it's just your reaction to their crazy making behavior. Does that make sense? And so why is it always an unnecessary struggle? This is the kind of talk that they would give you. You're crazy. Why is it always such an unnecessary struggle? It's because they've done a number on your cognitive brain, your power of thought, your power of free thinking, being an individual. They want you to morph into someone that they can control and manipulate. Okay? But, as an outcome, look, there is a King of Cups there and there's a choice. Healthy choices in love, okay? So watch out for someone with heavy water in their chart, It might be a more suitable option for you, a more gentle option for you, a more loving option, Leo. Some of you might like these bad boys or, bad chicks, You might find it a bit thrilling to be treated that way, just for some of you. Relationships, okay? This is your last 2 weeks of June, okay? Relationships, intimacy, freedom, acceptance, trust. Relationships, we're in relationship with everybody. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, everything is relationship. So relationships are going to be key throughout the last couple of weeks. Your choices in relationships, your choices in, who you open up to, Leo, who you give your heart to. And always double check, one foot in the wisdom well, throughout the last couple of weeks of June. Look, I've given a lot of information, opened up and told you about my weaknesses and my strengths and my successes, my failures. I actually know very little about you. And remember, the one who asks the questions is the one in power. It's not the one giving the information, okay? And you'll find that highly narcissistic people, they ask a lot of questions. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking will bring you romance, Leo. So, don't fear. Don't fear, getting out there again after dealing with characters like this and, your innocence coming back where it's romantic and it's, you feel celebrated and it's celebratory to be in, beautiful connections with people that it's emotionally balanced and they're both upright, these cards. So, don't settle, don't settle for people like this, Leo. It takes so long to heal from this. The more you're exposed to these kind of behaviors, these kind of people, the longer it takes to heal. Don't ignore your intuition. If something seems off, it probably is, Red flags, Leo. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So don't be scared of love, Leo. There is something out here for you as a potential outcome where it's a healthy choice in love. Somebody might have heavy water in their chart, and you know what? It will be totally refreshing moving away from these kind of characters that some of you might have dealt with. Okay. I want one more on that, actually. Wishy-washy, indecisive. You know, it's just a real shit set of cards for this person, whoever this might be for you, Leo. Um, you know, do your best to, yeah, avoid the tower mum and keep, run, Forest, run from characters like this, and never doubt your intuition. All right. It's there for a reason. It's there to protect you. As I say, if something seems off, it probably is. And look for clusters of patterns within your body. The body never lies, and so the solar plexus can start really having a second heartbeat and pulsating. It's a warning sign. It's like fight or flight. And so when someone's talking to you, you start to learn. I feel manipulated here. Um, And always watch out how much information you're giving away too freely. Trust is built, not trust is earned, not given, Leo. Um, certainly, don't lose your innocence and love and care and your fire and all these kind of things, with this, because, it's almost like, these kind of characters here, they will actually make you feel less than. And then you start to feel less than. And it's all of their projections of who they are as people onto you. Everything they hate about themselves, they project onto you. And you start apologizing for their shitty behavior. So never reward bad behavior with nice things, And those of you, don't express your love to people like this, okay? When will I see you again? Some of you are still caught in that anxious attachment. And these kind of people, they know what they're doing. They keep you stuck by knowing when to come close, pull away. Because if your trigger is fear of abandonment, for example, which stems from childhood, we know, guys, they know that that's your weakness, that you can't let go. And you'll always be around. You'll always take them back. It just gives them permission to do it again, Leo. Okay, so take great care of yourselves. Okay, one of these, something for you to consider that might be instrumental, in your healing throughout the last 2 weeks of June. A message for you, Leo. Let's have a look. Will, expression, assertiveness, self-control, and direction. Okay. Your will, your ability to be a free thinker can be damaged by these people. Be assertive, okay? Work on assertiveness with these characters, okay? Direction and self-control. These kind of people do not like people that are free thinkers. They want people that can be manipulated. It elevates their ego. Don't be those people, because you will be perpetually trapped in unfair treatment, Leo. And I don't want that for you guys, all right? One of these, I'm going to leave you with this, a positive message. It's not a negative reading, guys. It's all about growth, okay? And, my readings come out every couple of weeks, so there's only small increments of change from reading to reading. There might just be one or two cards that are turned upright where they used to be reversed. Or, it's like three steps forward, 2 steps back, in the healing journey. And so a reading could be very positive, one in 2 weeks, and then suddenly it'll go back to a negative reading. And it's the nature of healing, spirituality. By opening up your mind spiritually, you become thoughtful and peaceful. Your spiritual journey is inspiring to others. There's a lot to learn from this, okay? And you will have a lot of wisdom. And, just the only thing that would worried me about the recent past was you might have ignored the red flags and ignored your intuition. Your spiritual side, Leo, is key. Listen to it. It's there for a reason, your intuition. And you know what? In this modern world, we've lost the art of intuition. We've polished the logic so far. We've become very intelligent, based on intellect as opposed to intrinsic intelligence, which is intuition, instinct, fight or flight. Some people confuse excitement with warning. So they get butterflies in their stomach thinking, oh my God, this woman is amazing, or this dude he's a magician, he can do anything. And you get that pulsating in your solar plexus and you think it's excitement. It's actually your body saying, run, Forrest, run, all right? So, don't ignore your spiritual side, Leo. It's key, all right? And it will serve you well. And the more you trust it, the more you hone it, the better it will serve you. But if you ignore it at your peril. The body never lies. It will always give us signals as to whether something is right or wrong. And there's only there's only two feelings, good or bad. There's 72 human emotions. So follow the good. Does it feel good? Yeah, it does. I'm going to follow that. Feels bad? No, I'm going to pull away. And so, Leo, take great care of yourselves. It's not a negative reading, guys. As I say, some of you might have a choice in love. There might be someone heavy water. It's okay. Safe to love this person. It seems quite healthy. Others of you might be stuck in situations, fighting for your life to free yourself from some kind of mental slavery. You will get there. It takes great strength. Don't let on to people that you're trying to escape from. Leave secretly and slowly. Okay, big warning. Never tell them your plans. Remember, people who ask questions are in power. Leo, don't give too much information away to people throughout the last 2 weeks of June. So if you enjoyed that, guys, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach out at moderntarot.net directly or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to help you get some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, Leo, good luck with that. Take great care of yourselves, and I'll see you back here for another reading. Take care. Bye.